Hello Pokemon trainers, welcome back to another Pokemon TCG Pocket video here on iStarly TV. Today we are featuring what is undoubtedly the best deck in the game at the moment. This is the Arceus EX Dialga EX deck. So we're going to talk about whether this deck is too good for the game or not. I've seen a lot of complaints online about this deck, and I would say rightfully so. This is a really powerful deck. And it feels really kind of streamlined. I think the biggest issue with this deck for other decks to beat is the fact that it has just a bunch of basic EX Pokemon. So the setup with this deck is almost non-existent. Like, sure, you set up with Dialga, like that's kind of the main goal of the deck, but all of your Pokemon just have these massive HP stats and can do a ton of damage with their attacks. I guess everyone except for Shaman here, but this is kind of like the core of the deck, and we only run 6 Pokemon. A lot of these decks that I've seen, a lot of the deck lists for this deck, I mean, I'm sure most of them are copied off of one another, but they just run 6 Pokemon. Simple as that. They're all basic Pokemon. That makes your Pokeballs amazing because it means you're always going to hit something that you want, and then also it means that you're Shaman, and that's one of the reasons why they play Shaman, is because of that ability Sky Support. When Shaman is on your bench, your active Pokemon, your basic active Pokemon, have a reduced retreat cost. So that makes Mew's retreat cost 0, and it makes Dialga and Arceus's retreat costs just 1 for as strong of a Pokemon as they are. And from there, I mean, I'm going to be honest, I knew that these 6 Pokemon are the ones that these decks typically play. There's a few other routes you could go. I've seen people run 2 Shaman Sky forms. I've seen people run 1 Shaman Sky form and 1 Grass Shaman, like the regular Shaman. And then I've seen people run like 2 Mews. I've seen people run 2 Skarmories. There's really a lot of directions you could go, but I think most of these versions of this deck that I see run these 6 Pokemon right here. And then from there, the trainers, I don't know exactly if I'm using the exact number of trainers that people use. I think a lot of these decks typically run like 1 copy of Mars, which is like the new red card. Although I think those are better in tournaments because you kind of know what your opponent's working with. So I'm not running that card, but I would say that the trainer suite that I'm running here is pretty self-explanatory and pretty good. We've got Double Potion to keep our Pokemon alive longer. We've got X Speed to further reduce the retreat costs. Pokeball's great. We've got 2 copies of Helmet and 1 copy of Cape. If you saw my previous video, I've talked about how I have been enjoying Rocky Helmet more than Cape these days, but Cape is still very good. 2 Research, unsurprisingly, 1 Sabrina, 1 Cyrus, 1 copy of Dawn, and 1 copy of Giovanni. I really like Dawn in this deck. Dawn is great in these decks where you can kind of set up and put a bunch of energy onto your bench, and then where you're switching things around. And so Dialga is one of those Pokemon that puts energy onto your bench, similar to things like Manaphy, Moltres EX, stuff like that. And Dawn is typically really good in those decks. But again, the goal with this deck is to set up your Arceus and do up to 130 damage with Ultimate Force, which is absolutely broken. I mean, maybe not broken, but it's very, very good. Mew EX is good against this deck because it can use Arceus's attack against it. And it can also use other Pokemon's attacks that are pretty strong in the meta. It can use Rampardos' attack, which is also pretty good. But yeah, I mean, this is the deck. We're going to try it out. We're going to see whether it's too good or not. I'm not the best player in the world, so even if I lose, that doesn't mean that this deck is not great. But let's get to those games and see how it does. We are going first, which I don't love in this deck, especially since Dialga. We did get a great start. Dialga is typically the card that we want to start with on our active spot because Dialga uses its metallic turbo to set up energy onto our bench, and we're in the mirror right away. Okay, but the reason I don't like going first in this deck is because of the fact that it means that we're going to start attacking with Dialga later than our opponent. But we draw a Pokeball, and we did draw into another Dialga as well. So we're just going to have a full bench right off the bat here. We're definitely going to play Shaman, definitely going to play Dialga, and then, of course, once again, because of the fact that we are attacking second in this game, I think playing the Helmet onto this Dialga is pretty nice, because it means once my opponent starts attacking, they are going to start taking excess damage with the Rocky Helmet. One downside for me putting the Rocky Helmet onto my Dialga, my active Dialga, is if my opponent goes for Sabrina. So maybe it was smart to actually wait a turn to do that, because if they have Sabrina, they wouldn't use it. And then, yeah, I don't know. It probably doesn't make that big of a difference, but with the X speed in hand and the Shaman on the bench, our Dialga actually has effectively a 0 retreat cost, which is very, very good. So my opponent's setting up. My opponent's actually, we're not playing the mirror match. My opponent's playing Probopass EX, which is probably the ugliest EX in the game. And they're playing Dusknoir. Interesting. Okay. I know what Dusknoir does is it takes damage from your like active Pokemon and puts it onto Dusknoir. So that can actually be really, really obnoxious. All right. We're definitely going to put an energy onto our Dialga. And then I think we just pass here. We have the cape. I could put that on my bench Dialga, but we'll just wait for now. They could possibly go Sabrina here. But if they do, once again, we can just retreat back into my Dialga. Okay, this is going to be a really... Wow, my opponent's deck looks really obnoxious. It looks like this is going to be a really annoying deck to fight against because they just have so much longevity. Like I said, Dusknoir, the third stage of this, it has an ability where it can take damage from their active Pokemon and put it onto Dusknoir. And then Probopass takes reduced damage, and then Shaman can heal. So I see my opponent's vision. We're going to see if it works at all, though. Unfortunately, we do not draw another strong basic like Mew or Arceus. So I think that's fine, though. I'm actually going to lead with Sabrina here, because we can two-shot Duskull or Shaman, which is pretty decent for us. They go into Probopass, which I guess makes sense. You know what? Maybe I might have helped my opponent there by doing this. Here I'm just gonna go put the put Potion onto my active Dialga and then put a Helmet onto my bench Dialga. Maybe I'm being a little bit hasty here, but we're gonna go Metallic Turbo here. Get 30 damage on the Probopass, put 2 energy onto our Dialga. And then next turn, I'll probably retreat into... actually, maybe not. Okay, we'll see. This takes minus 20 from attacks, but it's still going to take the 20 from the helmet. Worst case scenario is my opponent finds Dusknoir like ASAP, because then it's just going to be impossible to kill this Probopass. I mean, it's already kind of impossible to kill the Probopass. I kind of regret... going for Sabrina there. That was probably a misplay. We do have Cyrus, though. Giovanni's not going to do anything here. I really wish we had, like, Mew or Arceus on the bench here. That would really help. So we're going to go Turbo again. I could Cyrus, but that feels stupid. That just feels like I shouldn't have even gone for Sabrina. Well, actually, no, that's not exactly true. Okay, I guess we can... Oops. I guess we can Cyrus their Dialga back, just to get more damage onto it. So that maybe that was a dumb play to go Sabrina and then Cyrus. But I'm just going to go ahead and put an extra energy onto Dialga and then go for Metallic Turbo. The reason I put the energy on this Dialga is because if my opponent doesn't have like X Speed or Leaf, then we get to do 100 damage with our Dialga next turn. Like, basically, they can't knock out my Dialga this turn unless they're able to switch into Probopass. So that's kind of the thought process there. I mean, the thing I don't like about Dialga, though, is its biggest attack just does 100, which I don't love. Like, that's not a lot of damage. So again, unless they can switch into... Well, actually, I'm dumb. They could just retreat. They could just straight up retreat. Yeah. So, of course, Leaf and X-Speed would have helped them, but they did not need that. Defensive unit, they're going to knock me out. We get to go into our other Dialga, and we're going to hit for effectively 80, which is something. I mean, we're slowly chipping away at this Probopass. But I'd love to draw another Pokemon here. There we go, okay. start loading up the Arceus. I'm gonna go ahead and put the cape on that, of course. If my opponent has Cyrus, that could be a big problem. Go Impact. Yeah, this is... Once my opponent gets that Dusknoir going, we're just cooked, really. So we gotta hope that they don't find it. Okay, that's annoying, but we do have the helmet. Oh, we can actually knock them out with Giovanni. That's great. That's really, really nice. Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, because getting a prize here is huge. And then there's Mew. That's nice. Gonna just go ahead and put the energy onto Arceus here just so we can potentially attack with it the following turn. We're gonna Giovanni here. That is going to cleanly knock out this Dialga. And then they go into Probopass, and we threaten to knock out Probopass as well. And in fact, I actually think we win here. I can't imagine a situation where my opponent gets out of this. I guess they could go like Adaman and Potion, and then attack with defensive unit, maybe. That would actually be really bad if that's what happens. Otherwise, if they don't have that combination, I think it has to be that exact combination. Oh, and then they have the Shaman healing here, which honestly could hurt us as well. But if we're able to switch into Arceus this turn, we're going to do 130 to them. We do not have another Giovanni in the deck, so, you know, we're not going to be doing any more than that. But I think we're good. Unless they retreat. They might retreat. But if they're just retreating here, that's also fine. Yeah, that's just fine, because it means they're not damaging us. Another cape. I don't think I really care about that. Okay, so let's think here. Dawn doesn't really change. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I figured we got that game. I was just kind of trying to think, because I was like, my opponent did that pretty confidently, so do they know something I don't? But yeah, that was a scary deck. We are pretty lucky my opponent did not find Dusknoir. And I can see that, like I said, I can see the vision. Like, Dusknoir works really well with Probopass and Shaman. It just means that it's so hard to take your Pokemon down. But I just think that a deck like that requires so much setup. Like, you have to find a stage 2 in Dusknoir, and then you have to find a stage 1 in Probopass. Yeah, it's rough. That's why this Arceus Dialga deck is so good, because once again, it doesn't have to worry about evolutions. You just play everything out when you can. Let's do another one. We've got another game here. Nice emblem collection there. See what we're up against. Nice to meet you, sure. We're going first again, which, as I said, I do not love. Up against a dark deck. I'm assuming this is a Darkrai deck. Let's go ahead and play Mew. Now, this deck does not play Budding Expeditioner. I kind of wonder if there's a world where we could fit Expeditioner in the deck, because when I was building it, it was like there's a lot of slots for trainers. My opponent leading with Darkrai is actually really, really annoying and potentially really bad for us. Shaman is actually nice. Is there ever a world where we... Is this crazy? I'm probably overthinking it here, but I think I'm just gonna, well, I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna take a huge risk here. I know it seems dumb and I'm probably overthinking it, but I'm like, if I play one of these, they could possibly like Sabrina to force me into one of them, and then they could put damage on that. I'd like for these to take as little damage as possible, but the downside here is if they have red card, I just get absolutely destroyed. So we'll see how this plays out. They go Communication. This is a Magnezone Darkrai deck. Yeah, there's that. But now what we get to do is kind of like surprise my opponent and just like go right into Dialga here. Although at the same time... Well, I guess it does have to be that, right? I'm just thinking, like, do I want Dialga to take some damage from the Darkrai? I would love an Arceus here, but we don't have it. So like, do I let Mew take 20 more damage? Whatever, we'll just play these out now. And I guess I'll retreat. I'm just like trying to think what's the best course of action here. I think we'll pass now. Actually, I'll just play the helmet here just in case they for some reason switch into Magnemite, which I don't think they'll do. This is going to be a tough one. Yeah, there's Magneton. So this next turn, I mean, Dialga's going to take 20. There goes Cyrus, okay. I don't care that much about this. This is just going to do 20 more damage to my Mew. And my Mew can retreat for free thanks to Shaman. So I don't think this is like the best play for my opponent. Like they just wasted the Cyrus just for 20 damage. Maybe that'll come back to help them on. Maybe that'll come back to help them later on. I could Potion here. I could Potion Mew. I could Cape Mew. Okay, I'm just going to hold on to those for now. We might need them later. Let's go Turbo. The funny thing is... Oh, never mind, never mind. I was going to say if we draw Giovanni, we can actually kill Darkrai this next turn, but that's not true. Because we would be able to go Dawn and energy from Mew onto Dialga, and then put our energy for the turn onto Dialga. And then that would do 100 damage. I mean, at the very least, we can do 100 damage to Darkrai, but I guess something that I forgot about... Well, actually, never mind. My opponent can put an energy on Darkrai here and then attack us with Dark Pulse, or Dark Prism, whatever. But that would do 20 damage to their Darkrai because of the helmet, which would allow us to knock them out with heavy impact. So we're going to see how my opponent plays this out here. I hope they attack me. Nice, okay. I mean, we're taking a large chunk of damage, so that's still not the best thing in the world, but... And I guess from my opponent's perspective, they don't know that I have Dawn, but that's exactly what we're going to do. It does mean that we're a little bit farther away from attacking with Mew. Also, if my opponent has Magnezone in hand, that could be a little tricky. Huh. Well, I mean, I already did it, so I can't undo that. So now I'm just going to go ahead and Cape Potion Mew. So if they have Magnezone, Mew will not die to one Magnezone attack. Because Dialga is going to die to a Magnezone attack no matter what. But the problem here is, like, how do we knock out Magnezone? If they have Magnezone here, we are in a lot of trouble, and I can't imagine they don't. Because Magnezone easily knocks out... I mean, the funny thing is Magneton knocks out Dialga. So we need like another... Oh, interesting. Okay. That seems like a pretty bad play? Am I wrong? Do they just not have Magnezone? I mean, since my opponent doesn't have any points yet, there's no reason for me to just not go into Shaman there. I mean, I guess this makes sense, because now they must have like another... Huh. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Have I used Sabrina? I think I have, right? I can't look at this? Oh my god. I forgot if I've used Sabrina this game or if that was another game. Because if I go into Mew, they cannot kill me in one hit, but then I also cannot kill them in one hit. If I go into Dialga, I can do 100... Oh, God. I don't think... I mean, if I went into Dialga, I could do 100 damage. Yeah. If we had drawn Sabrina, we would win this game. I guess there's still a chance we could draw like Arceus or something. We're probably losing this game. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so that means they cannot use Sabrina or Cyrus again. With my luck, they have another one. I guess we could still win if we draw Sabrina. Yeah, if we draw Sabrina, we can win the game. Otherwise, if we draw like Arceus, I mean, it's probably too slow. If we had Helmet on Mew, that would be nice. Potion doesn't do it. Yeah, Arceus or Sabrina would have potentially helped us win this game. Sabrina would have guaranteed we win the game. So I can hit them for 120. Because I could do Thunder Blast, which does 110. I have Giovanni. Man, if I could put the helmet on the Mew, I mean, if I had helmet on Mew though, it would already be dead. So that's kind of funny. I could retreat into Dialga, hit them for 100. Man, it's so close, dude. So close. Oh man, it's so close. Yeah, I lose this game. I don't think it matters one way or another how we do this. We Giovanni, we hit them for 110, they Thunder Blast, and they take 20 from the helmet, so they go to 10. So it's so, we were so close here. Wait, are we running out of time? I'm overthinking it. I think we lose. If you saw my last video, I did get a tie for the first time ever in this game. Yeah, we can't Cyrus or anything. It's fine. It was fun. It was fun while it lasted, huh, friends? Yeah, we're 10 damage away. Like I said, if we had drawn Sabrina, that guarantees we win the game because we could Sabrina. They have to go into one of their bench Pokemon, each of which dies to heavy impact. Otherwise, if we drew Arceus, we could at least kind of like stall things out. Are they going into another Magnezone? Probably. Okay. If we had drawn Arceus, it's not guaranteed that we win, because if they have like Sabrina or Cyrus, they could still kill us. But if they didn't have those, then Arceus would effectively win us the game. I don't know. Well, yeah, I think Arceus could help us win the game because we could go into Arceus, put a helmet on it, put an energy on it, and then they attack us. They take 20, and then the next turn we put an energy on Arceus. We retreat into Dialga, and then we can either finish them off or it's another tie. Either way, that was fun. Yeah, so that's the deck. I mean, I think this deck is really powerful. Like, even though I lost that second game, it's still, like, we were still very close to winning it. Sometimes it really just comes down to, like, what card you draw. Like, you're looking for that one card that you need, and if you draw it, you win the game, and if you don't, you can't win. But this deck is good. And let me know in the comments what you think. Is this deck too good? If it is too good, if you believe it's too good, I'm not judging either way. Like, if you think it's too good or if you think it's completely fine, I'm not going to judge you what you think. But let me know what you think could be solutions to having a deck like this in the meta. Because if you look at tournaments, this is the best deck. This is the deck that's winning the most and it's seeing the most play. So like the most amount of people are playing it, and it still has a really high win rate. So that's a sign that this deck is very, very good. Because it's one thing if it's like, I don't know, 5% of people are playing a deck and it has a good win rate. Well, it's like, okay, well, not that many people are playing it. But if like 10% of people are playing it and it still has a solid win rate, well, yeah, then you know. Because there's some decks where a lot of people play them. They might have like a 10% play rate or something, but they don't have that great of a win rate. I don't know. There's a lot going on here, but let me know what you think of the deck. What decks are you running to beat it? I know that's why the Rampardos deck is pretty popular, because it can do large chunks of damage. It can do like 150 damage. It can kill Arceus in one shot, basically. So that's why people are playing that deck. But yeah, there's other decks that might be good as well. So let me know in the comments. Please leave a like and please subscribe for more TCG Pocket videos like this one. And let me know also what you think about like this. You know, a lot of the times in my videos, I feature decks that like I kind of make up or that I want to try out or that are just like fun or unique. Whereas this one is like, again, pretty much the best deck in the game right now. And I was kind of showcasing that. So let me know if you have a preference, if you prefer me doing kind of new, unique, interesting decks, or if you prefer me doing good decks that are tried and true, or if you want to see me do a mix of both. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.